Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everyone. My name is Sane, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation about my health condition. So I hope you like this little PowerPoint presentation that I've made for all of you, and this can give more context to all the stories that I've been telling on stream for over a year. And I managed to condense a little bit more context in one entire video. So this presentation will go over all the things that I felt and some experiences that I had, triggers about my health condition, and an explanation about it as well. So hopefully it will be helpful for anyone who watches this and has Moyamoya disease, because this little disease here, it's extremely rare. I not many people have this disease, and the way that it tackles everyone, it can be very, very different. I've also gathered some, some websites with at least somewhat reliable sources that I may be mentioning them in the description if you want to look, or you can just Google what the heck is Moyamoya disease, and you're gonna be finding information that may describe exactly what I'm having. Um, Trigger warning for strong imagery as well. There's gonna be a lot of immersion breaking with myself since I am using my real life voice, and that for people who are VTubers just like me can be a little off-putting. I think if you're this far in the video, you're probably morbidly curious already of what's going on. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible in this one, so there's gonna be no playing around my characters and all that stuff. But I will be talking about it at the end because it has affected my life in a very positive way, and I'm taking it. I'm taking it this far, so I might as well explain it all I can about it, baby. All right, so yeah, I'm sorry I didn't do this on a stream. I wanted to do it in a more compacted way. This one anyone can listen to it, and a lot more broad audience can also watch it because I know that not everyone watches streams. But I should get right into it. All right, let's go with the powerful presentation. So slide number 1, that photo right behind me, that is a real life photo of myself that happened exactly around the time that I have surgery. I've been dealing with this condition for about 2 years. In 2021 of April, I was a victim of a stroke. And not just one, but 2 strokes. That's typical fashion of Moyamoya disease. It usually comes in like waves or multiple times. And it is so rare that not a lot of people survive. And I was lucky to be a stroke survivor. And more importantly, not more importantly, more shockingly, a Moyamoya survivor. It is a very life-changing disease. So yeah, allow me to go through it quickly here. So here's the little first slide. Let me just get out of the way so you can see how beautifully I prepare this PowerPoint that I try to be organized as possible. So for those who are reading this instead of watching it, check this out. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Let's go a little bit over it. I think I briefly said it already, but let's do it in more organized. I am doing this to tell my story and to explain my journey dealing with this disease and how I am recovering. And I'm also doing this to bring awareness to this rare disease that almost took my life. And I can still potentially take it. That is right. The journey is not over. It's never over for people like us. For some people, it doesn't feel like it's never over, or it can be over quickly. It is very different for everyone. All right, let's go to chapter 2 over here. What is Moyamoya disease and where does it come from? All right, that's a very good question. So it's a brain disease that makes the blood vessels in your head really thin. It can cause strokes and seizures if it goes undiagnosed, and you may need immediate surgery to open the blood vessels in the head. Where does the name come from? Now that's a very strange one because when I tell people about Moyamoya disease, they always look at me weird and wonder what the heck is that. So here's a little information that I found online. It says that the group of meek tiny blood vessels appears like a cluster, hence the word Moyamoya, meaning puff of smoke in Japanese. So basically the word comes from Japanese. This is because this type of disease, it's more frequent in Asian countries and Asian peoples, and which I am not exactly. Not exactly. I'll go into more context in a bit. And it is also way more relevant in, more common on females, which I am not. I'm always very transparent about my own identity and all that stuff. So do not worry about that. Yeah. So this is what it is. Let's go to the Google article that I found. Let me see if I can open it here quickly. So window capture. There we go. I guess we can move this window out of the way. And let's just go into more context, because this is what most people see when they search what is Moyamoya. Literally, I'm gonna be providing also some context of the little things that are out there, because as soon as people search for this kind of stuff, they are immediately scared for my life. And I tell them to not worry. Let me read the one here quickly, because I took some homework from Google, but I'm gonna try to fact check some things, of course, because I also got very scared when I heard about this disease. So let's see. Moyamoya disease is rare, progressive cerebrovascular disorder caused by a block of arteries at the base of the brain in an area called the basal ganglia. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on there for the most. I mean, I'm very familiar with it. It just sounds fun. Moyamoya means puff of smoke in Japanese and is used to describe the tangle appearing of the tiny vessels compensating for the blockage. That is a stroke. You see these images right here? They're explaining what happens to why is it called a puff of smoke. It's very random how it attacks the head. This is why, it needs to it is very difficult for people who have this condition to know what's going on, because it strikes very randomly sometimes. So here are some things that scare. Literally the first thing that happens when you search this stuff is Moyamoya disease life expectancy. And the question might be, it's always subtle. Some people recover from this, from my investigation and my asking people around, the ones who have survived. So it is, let's see what it says here. Life expectancy for Moyamoya is about 10% in adults with this. About 10% of adults with Moyamoya disease will die, and about 4.3% of children will die. Damn, so that does not sound good or relieving to me. That is usually due to bleeding in the brain, a hemorrhage. That's practically what happened to me. If you ask me about if I remember anything that happened to me when I have a stroke, I do not remember anything. They say that loss of memory is common on that time. All I remember was fainting at home after screaming in pain and agony and teleporting to the hospital like a day and a half later. I do not remember anything at all. It is weird. It is a very difficult to explain experience. Apparently I was told that I was dizzy, and I was at some point trying to self-defense against nurses, but not aggressively. I just was saying random words. I was working literally in auto mode at that point. I don't know. It's so crazy. I look at it back and I'm like, whoa, that's just brutal. Can Moyamoya be cured? Well, Moyamoya itself is not curable. Surgery to provide alternative blood flow to the brain prevents the symptoms related to Moyamoya and can provide excellent long-term outcome to significant stroke risk reduction. You see these little things that I have on my little character? That is actually inspired by my own condition, because I did have that surgery. So I'm very transparent about that too. I've explained at the beginning of my career as a streamer and a VTuber that this model that you see here, this anime character, it's inspired by my health condition. It is like a manifestation of Moyamoya disease, and everything that I write about it, it's because of that. So let's see here on the bottom. What does it say here? What is the survival rate of Moyamoya? I think we already read that it's not that much. It's very difficult. And in my own research, I tried finding people that have this disease. It proven to be a little difficult. I've saw some people online on different places like Reddit, on Twitter, but it's so minuscule, and I didn't dare approach many of them who have it, because from what I read in their social media, Not that I'm trying to like search for their personal stuff, but more for the public stories that they posted, even in like websites like like Threads. A lot of them, it's very different for everybody. For some people it's like more brutal and agonizing, and for other people it's just like, well, I got better after a month, and for me the rest of my time is normal. I'll be going into details later of how I feel. That's what the powerful presentation is for, to remind me of that. Well, let's read some of these and let's keep going with the presentation. What are the signs of Moyamoya disease? Having a stroke, probably. Yeah. Headaches, seizures, weakness, numbness. It's not very common. A lot of these sounds like very common things. I have to be careful with this little imagery. This may be a little too strong for people to watch, like the blood vessel pictures. Trouble speaking and understanding. That just sounds like cognitive and development. That's just, all of this is just stroke descriptions. Can you live a normal life after with Moyamoya? It depends. We answer all of that. How rare is it? Oh, this one's good. Moyamoya disease, about 1 people in the United States of 1 million. Out of 1 million people, 1 may have it, 1 may not. It is very rare. All right, I think this is good. This is one that is controversial. I've been asked about this personally. I've been approached about this. So the one I'm speaking about is, can COVID cause Moyamoya? So if I'm going to be completely transparent, when I was in denial of my condition, because I was like in the brink of like death, I was I told someone, and I had the vaccine like literally like a month before. Some people were told me, oh, you probably got it from the vaccine. It's a conspiracy theory that's been going on around. No, I have symptoms way before any of that. Did it make it worse? Who knows? It's so minuscule and so rare that I have no idea. But I didn't have COVID. I had the vaccine. So I don't know how that works. But anyways, I don't want to get too deep into the rabbit hole of YouTube with this kind of garbage. I'm pretty sure it has nothing related. It was according to every professional out there and all the people experiences, what I can tell you was that it was bound to come to me. And according to my medical history, it was definitely on its way. So yeah, that's the thing that happened. And it's a lot more. It's an ongoing topic with a lot of people, and it manifests in different ways. Anyways, let's go back to the powerful presentation. Let's go open it right here. All right, there we go. Oops. Sorry for the scuff. That's very normal in my field. So next chapter. Chapter 3. How different is my version of Moyamoya from okay, so from my understanding and reading the experience of everyone I could find, everyone has their own substance because of how everyone's head works. Some people return to almost normal life, or some struggle with multiple side effects. The healing or accommodations all vary. I made a little typo there. But yeah, I just literally said that. I literally said that for everyone is different. Everyone's body is completely different from start to end. Your arm size are different, your blood vessels are different, so it's gonna be completely different for everyone. Yeah, should be like a given. Okay, so I guess I'm good for that was a small chapter. The other ones are a little longer, so brace yourself. So here we go. Oh wait, this is a continuation. Click add title. I'm sorry, I'm just a little scuff there too. So what I can say that after 2 years with this, I have been gradually improving. That's good news. But there have been things that always bring me discomfort, especially if my blood pressure gets high, overworking, stress, and so on. I'll get into more those details a little bit more later. And sometimes it happens spontaneously out of nowhere, and my instinct tells me to not move, or else I will go to something as bad as a stroke on the spot. So yeah, that is very true. When I'm being I'm gonna say the word like this, when I'm being attacked by this condition randomly out of nowhere, and my body, my instincts tells me what to do. Sometimes it tells me take a nap. Sometimes it tells me to not move. I could go days without feeling anything but a tickle. but there's like segments of times that can go for up to days or weeks where I feel just like a tightness in my head. And that puff of smoke that I mentioned earlier and that the text mentions earlier will not freaking leave for a long time. The best I can do is use my medication. I will go about that later. So let's see over here. What else do we got? Oh my God, mucho texto. All right, so let's go over here. Let's shrink a little bit. So over here we have, here's a quick thing. Here's a quick list of things that may trigger such a feeling. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a wild one. Brace yourself. So mental stress makes my head feels like it's squeezing. Yes, that is correct. Anything from stressing, like being angry, being uncomfortable, just like anything related to stress, mental health is very important. And luckily I am blessed that I am a person with a lot of patience. People that have no patience are very unlucky to have this disease, so they don't last much, I assume. Let's see what else. High caffeine. Now this is a very controversial one, so let me keep reading. Caffeine narrows blood vessels. Should I avoid caffeine? Not exactly. I can limit it and I'll be fine. As long as I keep moving around instead of sitting down to rest with a caffeinated body, I'll be fine. So here's the thing. I love coffee. I always used to love coffee. Coffee it's like I have a love and hate relationship with coffee. I know coffee, some people say that coffee is an addiction. I'm not addicted to coffee. I have pretty good control. Sometimes I can go times without drinking it. Sometimes I need one or two. It depends on the kind of job that I've been doing. But the fact is that caffeine does really narrow your blood vessels. It just makes the blood work faster, so that you'll be, more attentive and more active more faster. Please, I am no professional advisor. I am no doctor. I am nothing related in that field. But it is a fact that caffeine narrows blood vessels. That's why it just makes the blood. You know how you put your finger in the. This is gonna be a terrible example. You know when you put your hand or your finger on a water hose and it starts spraying faster the water. I imagine it's something like that. And when the blood goes faster, you go faster. That's pretty much what caffeine does to your body. So it is by no means any good that I drink coffee. I'll be showing an example of a narrow blood vessel in a minute. Probably after this one. So, all right, what else affects my condition? Sudden changes in body temperature, such as when I walk inside a store, or it can be either a hot building or the cold building. It can go both ways. So this one's funny because I go everywhere with a jacket, and the jacket, it's not because I am cold when it is really hot outside, like 80 to 90 degrees or 100. I just need it just in case of emergency. I need to be cozy. I need to be careful about anything that can change my body temperature suddenly. I had an experience that I walk inside a grocery store and then suddenly, boom, major headache, major migraine. My body telling me to not move because my blood vessels. I have that puff of smoke episode that was just blocking me. And that's literally happened just from entering a grocery store. It can be brutal. You know, you sometimes enter a store and it has like that breeze little thing. Or sometimes when you go inside a room and you feel like humidity and hotness, all that stuff can mess with your blood pressure. So please be careful. So yeah, this is why I'm always wearing like a comfy jacket. Even all my characters are comfy. Yeah, sudden change in body temperature. Oh yeah, I read it. I read about that one. Okay, so this one's also a bit tricky because it'll be linked to another condition. So visual sensory overload. If you have this condition, you may be somewhat epileptic. Now that I've learned this, some things in my past makes a little bit sense. As of recent, I've had several episodes of epilepsy, as well as strokes. So yeah, those two strokes that I mentioned at the beginning, those were not the only strokes that I've had in my entire life. I've had other types of strokes. Strokes have many different types. It's not just like, oh, there's one stroke for everybody. No, strokes have different types of episodes. So I don't know. I remember the names, But just think about it like this: some are more passive, some are more chill, some hyper aggressive. Not every stroke makes you go like Boshi the Rock, shivering on the floor and wanting you to like disconnect from the world. Some of them are just more like easygoing, but it still hurts. It's painful. It's a terrible experience. I don't want to feel it anymore. And as for epilepsy, I mentioned that it makes sense in my life because when I was very young, I've had episodes where after playing a game, I know it's normal for people to get like dizzy when they see like very high lights. But I remember even when I was a kid or when I was in like college, I've had episodes where my head just feels like it's like squeezing so hard that it makes me I can't breathe. And that's the experience of having an epilepsy. I've even have a clip here on YouTube where I literally have a an epileptic episode, not an attack, but it was a brief episode playing a game called Vampire Survivors. Yeah, the game has an epilepsy warning, but I was not in my best, in my best energy to be playing that game. I think I overdid it in that stream. That's what happened. So that was probably my negligence right there. This one's also funny. It says here, sudden loud noises. I can hear loud things like loud music and all that stuff, but sudden bursts out of nowhere that frighten me have caused me to sudden migraines, and that is something that I need to control. I've had moments, I think it's just because of stress. It's the stress related there. So let's say that you jump behind me to scare me. You think that's cute and fun? No, you're probably gonna give me a stroke. Don't think that's cute. I used to be like very accepted about that, but these days I have to tell people like, hey, you jump from behind me and scare me, I might have a stroke. And it has happened. I remember I tried making it my glorious return to work. I used to work at Walmart, and that was a mistake trying to make a return somewhere like that. There's a lot of explosive noises there, and I was still like in the process of recovering. I did try to make an attempt to return to the workforce. I just couldn't. My body will not, will not accept something like that. It was just brutal. Like everything, like a loud noise. Even like I said, it's not about hearing loud noises in general. It's sudden loud noises. It's stress related. That's what it is. Anyways, let me see if I need to return to the slide or go to the web browser and show more things. So let's see what's the next one. Chapter 4. How do I take care of myself? Okay, so I can take a break from the PowerPoint presentation and go to the web browser for a minute because I want to show something here. All right, let's see. Oh my God, please open. There we go. Web browser, there you are. So, oh yeah, the second page that I had open over here, it was about who gets Moyamoya disease in general. I think I already mentioned it, that it's very rare. Anyone of any race can have this kind of disease. It just happens to be more frequent in people that are of Asian heritage. When it comes to my life and my family tree, I rarely have any family members alive. I don't want to sound sappy in this video, but more than I already am. But from my father's side of the family, I am basically the only person alive. Like, I have family that is like extended, but from the same mom or same. I have no siblings, but that are like from the same mom and same dad. I'm basically an only child. I am not an only child. I have one sister that is like a long distance sister from my father's side, and I have four other siblings that I love very much. I have a large family. I am Puerto Rican, and Puerto Ricans that are extremely mixed race for for reasons of history. And yeah, being Puerto Rican has linked me to so many family trees. It is incredibly wild how many family members that I have are extended. But when it comes to like same mom, same dad, I am like the only one. And I was raised with some of my siblings, but we separated at a midway through my life. So it is I have a very unusual life record. But yeah, I how does that play into all of this? I've been wondering, you know, I wonder, I was curious to know, where did I get this disease? I'm pretty sure it's from my father's side of the family. It may be, or maybe just the first one who have it by miracle. I don't know. It says here, female and people Asian ethnicity have higher risk of Moyamoya disease, which I am neither. That is a very funny joke that I've told to many nurses over time. Let's see what else do we find here that it's also interesting. How do people get Moyamoya? People, it's essentially just heritage. You get it with your lineage. It's very rare. All right, so now this is what I wanted to show you all. Here's an image of a brain. Here's an example of a. I like this little paragraph. It's pretty good, but it explains pretty much exactly what I've been talking about. Let me just scoot to the corner here once again. Is Moyamoya a serious disease? It is a serious disease leading to a temporary or permanent brain injury. I wonder if that's why people in chat say that I'm crazy all the time. I'm not crazy. It's just the Moyamoya. Maybe I should put that on a shirt. Speaking of shirt, I'm gonna talk about something about that later. Encounters. So let's see. It is an extremely rare condition where the carotid artery in the skull, basically the base of the brain called the basal area, encounters narrowing of or thinning of the blood vessels, leading to reduced blood flow in the brain. It is classified as a type of progressive blood vessel vascular disorder. The group of tiny blood vessels appears a cluster, hence the word Moyamoya, meaning puff of smoke. There it is, that word in Japanese. I love anime. I love Japan, but this is not the one. This is not the way that I wanted to be close to it. You know, this is not the way to go and and be closer to Japan or Japanese. These blood vessels are not sufficiently equipped to transfer required oxygen and the blood brain. Yeah, like I mentioned, it all has to do with like the blood vessels and the oxygen to the head. I can tell you and I can confirm to you that that is what it feels like to have a stroke. You lack the oxygen, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to talk. It all has to do with this here. Here's an example. On the left side, you have the normal blood vessel, and on the right side, you have the Moyamoya blood vessel. It looks almost like cholesterol in this little drawing, but I swear it's not about that. They're just trying to draw like how is a thin blood vessel. This thing goes up and down. It's random, but this is what's going on in my head pretty much. What are the symptoms? I already talked about this. Numbness of extremities, partial or completely paralysis of the limb, hemorrhagic stroke because of sudden bleeding. Yes, you have to be very careful from your head. From the moment you are diagnosed with that, your life will be a little different. Predisposing risk factors of risk for Moyamoya. A lot of these links are gonna be in the description. You're free to look at them. We're not here to tour about this. I just wanted to show that image and how it works basically. All right. So the next tab that I'm going to be showing, it's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit like descriptive. I got these pictures from, of course, from an official source, literally a website called moyamoya.com. So here's an example of the head surgery. This is just one of many different ones. For everyone, it's different. It depends where they have to drill in and how much they have to drill in the head to get those blood vessels open. And this is the picture that I wanted to show of this individual here. This is from Stanford University, August 19 to 2001. Oh my goodness, they're pretty old, but it has changed through time. So yeah. For me, it was around there, a little bit more up. And these are stitches that were done on the outside. I had two different types of stitches. I have stitches that went in the inside and stitches that go in the outside. One in different side of the head. According to the hospital that did the surgery on me, I have the left side of the brain is the most effective one. It is the one that suffers the most from like more headaches and things related to, you know, just the Moyamoya in general. It is still more relevant on the side of the head. And even to this day, I can confirm it is the left side of the head is the one that gives me the most problems for the most. So here's an interesting article over here. This is what happens when this thing goes undiagnosed. And it is wild. So, oh my goodness, I feel really bad for this individual because I know this. Look at this. Look at the scar that this person has here. This is an article from express.co.uk. Man suffered 100 strokes in his sleep, and wife thought it was just a bad dream. This is why you should keep yourself checked on the hospital. You know, sometimes we have that unhinged feeling that we need to check ourselves because we think that, oh, you know, I may be having a hiccup, or I may be having a stroke or a cancer. Who knows? Because we can't tell ourselves. Sometimes it may be a sign of something a lot bigger. So this poor dude was probably shaking in his sleep like really bad, having strokes every night, had over 100 of them, and it turns out that all of them were related to Moyamoya. And the surgery that they had to do to this person was incredibly painful, and it goes from one side of the head to the other side of the head. It is crazy. He was told he would need emergency brain surgery in a bit to save his ability to speak. When it comes to strokes, I am lucky that I barely went through like a lot of changes. I feel just as I was 10 years ago. I don't think I have like any speech problems. I do have some problems remembering stuff more than usual these days, but it's not aggressive. I keep a good log. I use my cell phone a lot to keep a journal of things that I do. I take a lot of photos. I look at my posts on Facebook. I look at my posts on Twitter and my history and stuff. It's easy to keep track of stuff like this with technology. So yeah, I'm sorry for the scarring pictures, but it is crazy. You see, this is another example. You see the little VTuber here that I have, the scars on the head. I didn't exactly have them in the middle of the head. I have them more in the sides of the head, one on each side. It's probably around where the screws were, but a little lower. It's more around the temple, but a bit above. I hope that makes sense. I wish I could show you all a photo of my head. I think I have one around here, but I'm too scared to show it. um, I'll see what I can do about that. Sometime when I'm ready, I'll show it. I don't want to scar my friends and make them feel bad for me. I feel fine, trust me when I say that. And I know it's not reassuring when I'm telling you this behind the person of a stranger. Behind a photo of a stranger that looks like their head fell apart. My head fell apart, but I'm still fine, you know. Anyways, I should go back to the slide. I think that's enough of this. Oh, I have one more thing to show about this. I think I'll leave it right here. With the web browser, let's just finish it since I'm here. So I am a little late. I'm a couple of days late. I'm sorry. I was supposed to have this video done about a week ago because Moyamoya Awareness Day is on May 6th. May 6th is Moyamoya Awareness Day. It's on different parts of the world. And it is, since it's so rare to see people give awareness. I didn't even know what Moyamoya was before I was diagnosed that. It even says over there in that small article, it says Rare Disease Day. Well, that's not really Moyamoya Day. That's more about rare disease in general. There rarely is any kind of like talk about Moyamoya and specifically. They just group it together with like strokes because that's pretty much how it is for the most. And yeah, I just wanted to give awareness to this. I'll see if I can make more posts about it on all my social medias, just because if you have someone who is like going through something like this, please take care of them and advise them to get themselves checked, because it is important to know if you have something like Moyamoya. You probably won't. 1 in 1 million. I won that lottery. It's not how I wanted to win the lottery. This is what I meant about the shirt comment. I've been seeing funny posts about different people with the shirt, and I saw one that just made me laugh. I think it's this one. It says Moyamoya disease comes with a manual. It comes with a mother who never gives up. What the heck is this bullshit? I'm sorry for cursing, but oh my goodness. I love someone with Moyamoya disease. These shirts are always hilarious. What the heck is this? Keep calm and raise awareness for Moyamoya disease. Losing is not an option. Moyamoya disease awareness. There's a lot of funny things. I stronger than Moyamoya. There's a lot of blue ribbon stuff. It made me feel like I'm a cancer patient. My father and my stepfather, my biological father, they all passed away from cancer. And I can't, and I'm pretty sure that my biological father has something related to this. I can't learn anymore. I like I mentioned, it's very difficult for me to find any relatives or me to speak to them. Whether I don't have any bad relationships with my family. I'm just more of a lone of a person. I'm practically like that these days. Well, yeah, that's enough Google scrolling. Let's go back to that beautiful PowerPoint so I can give a good closing to this presentation. All right, here we go. Man, the mouse is not working. The most scuffed presentation in the planet. All right, so here we are. Um, so here's the last question. People often ask me, how do I take care of myself now? I still have frequent visits to the hospital, to the doctors. During the first year, I still went a handful of times because I have close call to stroke episodes. I did go to emergency like 3 times over the first year. The best I can do is deal with it with medicine. I have medicine for headaches, blood pressure, antidepressant in case I need it, or if I need to reset and rest as much as possible, and so on. So if I am in a position where I am stressing a lot and I can't help it, antidepressants are there for that reason. I also have to deal with the side effects of some of these medications. Once again, I am not a professional by all of this. And also, I wanted to clarify I've been somewhat diagnosed with depression. It comes with the feel. I've always had a tough life fitting in. And this is practically, I guess, I don't know, an extension of that. And because I really can't relate to many people, it's difficult to relate to other people. When I was doing research about trying to find someone else with Moyamoya to speak to them, it was difficult. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack or whatever other fancy sayings you have out there. Anyways, moving on. It is a progressive disorder, which can mean many things. It will either get better or get worse, but never really gone. Yeah, that is true. It can go away, but the puff of smokes will continue from here to there, and that's pretty much how I'm trying to deal with it. All right, let's go to the next slide, see what more we have about this. So, chapter 5. Oh my goodness, this is a bit of a moving one. Shout outs to my friend for making amazing artwork and helping me with all of these things. Let's see. What will I do now? This is a bit of a fun one. I always talk about this on all my streams. So, what am I doing now? Of course, I'm going to live my life to the fullest. Try to accomplish things that I've always wanted to do. I am probably a very ambitious person. My ADHD is to blame for this because it makes me want to do much more than I can handle. So I'm gonna put a pause right there, and I'm gonna give you all an example of what happened to this. So what happened to the week that I had the strokes episode, the April 2021. Um, I remember that week to be one of the most difficult weeks of my life. I was stressing about my job. I was stressing about my future. I was stressing about a lot of things in my life that were just like so difficult to reach. I felt like I wasn't making progress in my life. Like things where um this partially has to do with my ADHD. My ADHD is a bit different than other people. It's different for everybody. But I have the type of ADHD that it doesn't really makes me hyper focus. It just makes me want to add to the list things that I want to do and then some. Some people ask me like, "Hey, are you busy today?" Yes, I am. I am always busy. There's not a moment in my life where I stop thinking. I want to make my brain stop thinking so much. I'm always trying to do something. I am the type of person who picks up every pebble on my way and I never get to the end. At some point in life, I stopped playing as many video games, and this is not just adulthood. This was because I tried to play everything. I tried to I tried to do every hobby. I tried to learn everything. I tried to do everything at once. My ADHD is so aggressive that I just kept piling things up. One minute I want to be a musician. The other minute I want to be a story writer. The other minute I want to keep working on retail. The other minute I want to be a business owner. The other minute I want to be a VTuber. The other minute I want to be a streamer. And then another minute I just want to clean my house. I have a clean house because I pick up everything. But at the same time, I don't really have the cleanest house because I have hoarder behavior. I store everything. I have a lot of things. I have way too many Pokemon cards. I have way too many toys. I have way too many things. I work a lot. So I have a lot of things to do. And then my brain one day said, "Stop, you're gonna die." And boom, boom. And it just like malfunctioned. And it just blew up on my that's exactly how I felt. The week that I had the stroke, that is something that I was dealing with so aggressively. That is why I was given once again antidepressant pills because I need to chill down and be a zombie and try to rest. That's so be speak. If you're someone who could identify with what I just say about ADHD, please be very cautious about feeling like that. All right. So what's the next paragraph here? Ever since I started this new chapter of my life, I have been taking the professional advice to continue as normal as possible while taking care of myself. I have returned to doing small labor at a part-time retail job, while I now have become an online content creator, which was something I always wanted to do, but I was always too busy or too stressed to stop and give it a try. So this field that you see right here that I'm doing, this thing about being a VTuber, being a streamer, being an artist, being all those things that I always wanted to do, um, during the time that I was taking, a break from work and I was having help with a loved one, um, I was I was thinking a lot. And I was like, man, I have this bucket list of things that I wanted to do. Hell, I started watching like the longest anime in history, One Piece. And I said, why not watch it now? And I sat down to watch it, one of the best experiences that I've had. And something that I also wanted to say about, you know, the goals of my life. This is one of them. This is something that I've never thought that I would have done. I never thought I would have people around me to watch the stuff that I do. Even having 5 to 10 of them, it just feels special. And I thank every one of them. I think I mentioned something about that in the last slide. So let's move over there and let me get out of the way. Um, all right, let's go here. Not too far. All right. So chapter 6 and the ending. Thanks to the recently popular medium that is VTuber, a virtual YouTuber, I have been able to express myself with the creation of my personalized characters, which tell the story of my life with a twist of fiction. This VTuber has helped me create things such as becoming a streamer, creating a podcast, meeting many online friends with similar passion and learn each other's stories, and accomplish many goals that I've had in my bucket list, as I mentioned earlier, providing a reason to keep going forward with life. I have a new passion in life, and it is doing stuff like this. I just want to express myself. I don't want people to tell me, oh, you should do what's popular. Check out your numbers. I recently received an email telling me about that. I'm pretty sure it was a scammer or someone wanted to extort money out of me for some reason. I'm just here to share my story. The podcast is practically like a glorified journal. It's a capsule in time in case something happens to me. And that's why I've been doing that podcast. Next week, on this month, I will be celebrating 50 episodes of my little podcast. And that to me, it is like the most wonderful experience. And I am so honored. I'm so glad that people want to listen to me talk about different kinds of garbage. It's practically garbage. I just whine and complain about video games, anime, other drama online, and I always give a little bit of a update on what's going on with me, if my health is okay, and yeah, that's just something special to me. I'm so sorry that it's the end of the presentation. I've been brought to tears by nonsense, but I hope that this explains what has been going on in my head, figuratively and literally. It is literally like an experience that I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are going to go through. And I'm just honored that people want to watch this kind of stuff. This is why I'm doing a video like this. So thank you. Thank you for listening to this. If you made it to the end, please. Um, I hope you have a nice day. I make the most cheesiest garbage and I post it together with my little community. I'm going to enjoy them for as long as I have them. I'm always very thankful of the people that come in or out. People who stop by to say hi, people who give a like, people who just give me a compliment and then move on with their lives. The fact that you stop 5 seconds to say hello to me. And by the way, I'm someone who's always very over appreciative. I've said this to close friends, and I don't want to sound like trying to build some kind of parasocial thing. I am just like this, you know. I'm just always very appreciative. I like to look at the optimistic side of things. I like building memories with people. I like always like that kind of junk, you know. I was like building stories, and I'm finally able to share this story with all of you. And I hope you're having a good day. And please take care of yourselves. Check your head. See if you can win the lottery like me. Well, actually, don't win the lottery like me. I hope those numbers are in your favor. But anyways, I'm out of here. It's literally like almost 4 a.m. I need to play my gacha games and all that crap and talk to my friends. Love you all very much. You all have a nice day. Thank you for everything. You mean the world to me. You mean the world to me. That's what I wanted to say. All right. I'm choking up too much. Bye bye.